why do Chinese people treat Westerners like gods? So, I spend a lot of time on Xiaohongshu, probably too much time, and I've had this nagging sensation and this feeling that people aren't being very honest. I often see Western influencers and they say,
I love China because of the food, because of the high-speed rail.
And I gotta be honest, I think that's nonsense. I think the real reason why Westerners love China so much is because when they're in China, they get treated like gods. Whereas in the UK, for example, no one would look twice. I know this is a bit weird because I'm a Westerner and I love China and I get treated very well when I'm in China too. But that's really what's got me thinking about this and about whether it's really healthy for that to be the case. I mean, shouldn't we be treating everyone the same? My point is really that I think it goes too far, and actually treating Westerners really well actually encourages the worst kind of people to come to China and to make it their home. So for example, if you're a Westerner and you've been to like a good school in the UK, you can go to China and you start talking about how you went to a great school, and people will give you just a huge amount of respect. Whereas in the UK, people really wouldn't be impressed by that sort of thing. In fact, it would probably be the opposite. And I think that you've got to be really careful about giving credit to people who haven't proven themselves in an industry and haven't got real qualifications. They've just maybe been part of elite society in the UK just by luck, right? By who their parents are, not through anything they've done themselves. My second point is that I often hear that Westerners get away with crazy things in China, right? Then they're not treated as harshly as other Chinese people would be treated for having done the same thing. They get let off. And yes, it's nice to treat guests well, but I think that those double standards, then they don't contribute to a healthy society, and they inflate the ego of Westerners in China, who when they're in China, they think that they're amazing, and it's actually not backed by anything. They're just Western, and for some reason, Chinese people treat Westerners so well. So look, this is something that I've always wondered. Why is it? Can you guys help me understand it? Why do Chinese people treat Westerners like gods? Let me know.
Guys, before I get into this video, I would like to put a disclaimer. Guys, I'm not making this video to make Chinese people look bad, but as I was on WeChat today, I saw this guy say this, and I feel like this is a very important discussion. I've also had this thought and wanted to say something about this, but again, I feel like it's not in my place to say a lot of things since I am a foreigner here, and also I know that Chinese people do not take criticism. There's a way Chinese people behave, honestly. Like, they don't like foreigners criticizing or saying anything bad about them. So this is the reason why I'm being very careful on what I put out about Chinese people or Chinese culture. So guys, if you're a Chinese person watching this, do not pick offense. I'm just reacting to this video as somebody who is in China, and also I want to know other people's opinion and their views, because if you go to the comment section of this video, a lot of Chinese people actually agree with this, especially on the point that there are a lot of times some Westerners get away with things that Chinese people don't get away with. Like, some Westerners get away with offense that Chinese people don't get away with. I don't know much about that. I'm not a Westerner, and also I do not do anything that will go against Chinese law. I live mostly in my room. I don't go out unless I'm going to class. I don't go out, so I don't know much about what is happening in China as a country, except if I see that on the internet. However, I have noticed that there are these heavy preference. Chinese people put white people in higher pedestal. You will easily notice that once you come to China. Also, I feel like it is not just white people, like white skin in general. Anybody that look like white or have fairer skin gets much better treatment than anybody that look darker. And I personally do not have issue with that, since I don't necessarily work in China. I'm a YouTuber, I work online. But then sometimes it do rub off on you as a black foreigner. Also, even on their social media, there's also high preference for white skin and white foreigner. But that is not to say that Chinese people are racist or they are bad people. Honestly, I have received more help from Chinese people than I have received from my fellow black people in China. So this is the reason why I do not honestly pay attention to racism talk that a lot of people are talking. But honestly, there's high preference for white people. Chinese people put white people in high pedestal. I'm still shocked, honestly, because if you watch my video, the first video I made about my cultural shock in China, you notice that I said that Chinese people don't have white worship. I feel like that is an overstatement or understatement. I don't know how to say it, but like at the time I made that video, I just came to China. It's like 2 or 3 days of me being in China. So but once you stay in China for a longer time, you see that there's this big preference for white skin. And if we are being honest, I feel like it is not just a China thing. I feel like it is an Asian thing, because a lot of Asian countries have this preference for skin color, and also treat Westerners heavily better than they treat other foreigners. But again, this is not to say that Chinese people treat black foreigners bad. This is not to say that Chinese people treat black foreigners bad. Please do not misread or misquote me. I'm just commenting based on what the guy said, and also based on my personal experience. I feel like if you meet any black person and you sit them down and you ask them about their experience in China, and you meet a white person, you sit them down in private and ask them, like, the both experience will be like night and day. But if you tell me to rank China as a country, or if I should advise anybody to live in China, I will tell you to come and live if you want to live, or come and do anything you want to do. Especially if you're a Westerner, you have upper hand, you have more opportunity. Whether you're a black Westerner or you are a white Westerner, you have more opportunity here. But if you're a black person, you have to sometimes create opportunity for yourself, like doing business and all that. But China is a very beautiful country. China is a very peaceful country. China is a very low cost country to live in, and is okay overall. Honestly, China is very beautiful overall. China is very beautiful. Accessibility and security and peace of mind here is unbeatable. But guys, I want to know what you think in the comment section. Personally, I have mastered how to navigate China. I am the kind of person that read people's face and read expression. When I get to a place where there are a lot of Chinese people, all I need to do is to read their facial expression and see how they feel about me. Then I compose myself based on how they express, like based on their facial expression. Example, let me say if I enter train and I see an empty seat, right? I will like read the facial expression of people there if I'm trying to approach that seat. If the facial expression is off, I will not sit. If the facial expression is welcoming, I will sit. But most of the times, I do not get that that kind of you sit down, they stand up. I don't get it that much. There was a day I was on train, and there's these 2 girls standing, and I was standing beside them. I did not hold anything, and that train moved. I wanted to fall. They grabbed me immediately, and one of them showed me the handle of the train, say, hold this handle. The reason why I did not hold the handle at the first instant was because I feel like they will feel somehow, or they will walk away, and I don't want to make them feel uncomfortable. So I just stood there. But the way they hold me when I want to fall, like, that is so very beautiful. So I feel like racism, reaction, white preference depend on individual. If I will tell you like honest truth, it depends on individual. There are some Chinese people that don't give a F about your skin color. They will treat you well, they will welcome you, they will do everything to make sure that you feel comfortable. But there are still people who will just show you that you are not their preference. At the end of the day, the way you navigate and behave around people will also give them more room to treat you better or treat you bad. Finally, living in a foreign country is not easy. One thing I have tell myself is that there are a lot of things you need to overlook for you to be happy. It's not everything you pick, it's not every reaction you put in mind and be like, this is bad. There are a lot of things that you need to overlook, and minding the fact that you are a foreigner in their space, it is very important that whatever you do, you remind yourself that I'm a foreigner in this country. This is not my country. I need to compose myself as a foreigner. This is the advice I give myself, and this is the reason why I never see Chinese people as bad people or as anything. But in general, honestly, I have received a lot of favor from Chinese people.